Hey, what's up, YouTube fam? It's your boy Camo back with another reaction video for you today in tribute of Norm Macdonald. Rest in peace. We have a reaction, not like a lot of other people are doing. I know a lot of people are doing reactions of Norm Macdonald on Conan or just his stand-up or some SNL highlights. I thought for me what I would do is do a reaction of a comedian talking about Norm. Comedian I've reacted to before, Jim Breuer. So this is Jim Breuer. I don't know if this is just stand-up or a story. Either way, it's a funny clip. Jim Breuer talking about Norm Macdonald on SNL doing the Twilight Zone sketch. So with that out of the way, here we go.
Here's a Norm Macdonald story. We were filming a sketch. Now, when we first got started live, Norm Macdonald sat us all down, the cast, and he goes, listen, I'm the update guy, okay? Now, if I want to do a sketch, I'm like the star, and I don't want it, but I'm getting it on.
Jim Breuer is one of those comedians that he's very underrated for his impressions. He doesn't do many of them, but the ones he does, I feel like he does really well, and is one of the things as a comedian I wish I did better. Like, the only people I can impersonate are like close family and friends. Like, I can't impersonate any celebrity, you know, unless, like, you know, you're talking about the traditional Arnold, like, and even that didn't sound, that's, I don't know what that was. Or Chewy, that's it. That's all I got.
Don't write any of your sketches and put me in them. Don't put me in any of your gay sketches. That's what he said. He goes, but pre-prepared, if I'm doing a sketch, it's getting on. All right. 2 years later, he doesn't do any sketches. He just does the update. Pamela Anderson comes on. Now, whenever a beautiful woman would come on, Chris Kattan would always write a sketch where he gets to make out with the girl.
For some reason, this doesn't surprise me at all. And I think even the audience, I don't know if you could hear them, but as soon as he mentioned his name, some of the audience already started going like, oh.
And he'd always over-flirt with her, like, oh my God, you're so sexy, you're hot, I want to sex you up, I think you're cute, I want to go on a date, you single, I want to hot, and sexy. Which was weird, because I always swore that he lived in the closet. Not that I care. No, I'm just saying, I always, you know, you're like, well, you sure? You can tell me if you want. Because he was very, he's very flamboyant, and he would always bring up gay in conversation, which was, to me, weird. You know,
Yeah,
it's like,
that is weird.
You're like, oh my God, I was watching football. I don't know, it just started making me feel gay. You ever feel that way?
no. Not really.
Because they're patting each other
But
on
if
the
it
ass.
makes you know, all right. And I took that as a hint, you know, because like a pot smoker will hang out with a group and they'll go, and there's always one that drops the little hint to test the crowd. You're like, yeah, so if we go out tonight, it'd be weird. You know, I don't really smoke pot, but, you know, maybe tonight if someone's got nothing. But I would never do that, you know, because it's weird, it's drugs and stuff.
Oh, how times have changed. I'm so happy that people don't have to do that anymore. Just be like, you got some? Cool, thanks.
But you automatically know, like, oh, okay, he's looking for, I'll talk to you when no one's around. So I didn't know if Kattan was that guy. I'm like, oh my God, because he'd say it a lot. He'd be like, oh my God, I was on an airplane. I don't know, I just felt gay. Not me, but, you know, whatever, knock it out. So, Pamela Anderson, she's on the show, and she goes on, and we're getting ready.
I will take this moment to say a comedian you guys should follow if you've never heard of him. Yeah, and I know him personally, and he's a great guy. Chris Kattan's cousin, Tamer Kattan. Tamer, just like hammer, but with the T. Kattan spelled the same way. I believe he has stand-up clips on YouTube. He's really funny, and I'm proud to say I knew him. It's actually weird how I know him. It's a really long story. I won't get into it, but I knew him before either of us were comics.
Ready to do a sketch. Now, when we read a sketch, we try it out on Wednesday. Wednesday, you want to read it, sell it, and try to get it to be picked up to work on for the week. Now, Norm Macdonald is playing the guy from the Twilight Zone. I don't remember his name, but the sketch is like, imagine, if you will, another place and time. Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
See, even it's that good.
But Norm, this is how he reads the sketch. He goes, hey, imagine, if you will, another place and time. Twilight Zone, yeah, big faces. Well, they picked the sketch up, and they put me, Kattan, and Sherry O'Terry in the sketch, okay? Now, it's Saturday. It's Saturday, the day of the show. We go on the floor, and if Kattan wasn't starring in a sketch, he'd start nitpicking at other cast members. And he started busting on Norm. He's like, oh my God, Norm, Jesus. You don't even sound like the guy. You're not gonna get this. It's not gonna get picked up. Why are you acting that way? I mean, sound like the guy. Pamela, you're so hot. You're so sexy. Tommy Lee, I'm bigger than Tommy.
Every time I hear, oh my God, I'm bigger than Tommy Lee. Every time I hear stories, I just paused at the worst time, about the politics and the structure of SNL. I mean, I don't know so much about, the beginning days, like when it was Chevy and, even when Eddie came on. I don't know about that, but like the late 80s to even the late 90s, or even maybe even early 2000s, those are stories I've heard about. And every single time it just sounds like a nightmare to be on, regardless of whether you're just a writer or you're a writer performer, or if you were one of the rare few that you were just straight up a performer, like you didn't have to really write sketches, people would just write sketches for you or put you in sketches. Like, from my understanding, that's basically a lot what Chris Farley was, is once they saw how funny he was and how his physical comedy and all that stuff, he kind of like didn't really write anything. This is from what I've heard. If you heard different, my bad. But he would get put in a lot of stuff just because people knew, oh, if we put him in, it's going to be funnier. So, like, let's just do that, which must be the nice life. But from everybody else, it's like a nightmare.
Tommy Lee, mean you can hang out with fuckface. God, Norm, you're awful.
So I
Sound
can buy
like him.
this Chris, like, being really aggressive to try and get the skit on, like, do a good job so we can get on the show, because I don't want to waste my time,
And the whole time I'm looking at Norm like, you're not gonna do anything? I've seen you be so rude. You're not gonna say something to Kattan? You're gonna let him pick on you? And he's just looking at her like, yeah. Nothing happens. Now's the dress show. On Saturday Night Live, there's a live show and there's a dress show. The dress show, they film the whole show. God forbid something happens, they have a show in the can. But also, they do a lot of sketches because you're trying to get on. Sketches are gonna get cut, and then you only see the live version. So we're working our ass off for the dress show, packed crowd, ready to go.
See, that's crazy that they do that. Like, that's just crazy. And I wonder if they're totally different audiences too. I wonder if like one audience gets to see the dress show and then they move them out and then they bring in a new audience for the live show. Otherwise, you're seeing the same stuff twice. I feel like, look, as much as I love stand-up comedy, if I saw a comedian do an awesome hour set and it was funny as hell, and then right after I saw it, I'd watch it again, my laughs would be less. They would still be there, but they'd be less the second time around, especially since I just saw it.
1 minute for the Twilight Zone. Norm Macdonald, Chris Kattan, Jim Breuer, Sherry O'Terry to the floor. We get on the floor as a crowd, our mics are on. Swear to God, Kattan's going, God, Norm, where'd you hear this guy? You sound terrible. I can do impression better. Did you work on it? Pamela, you're so hot. I'm gonna suck your face and rub up against you, and me and you are gonna hang out and suck your face. You go in the party, we're gonna hump and hang out and dry hump your leg at the party. 30 seconds. God, Norm, you're never gonna get this. God, try. Aren't you guys concerned? We're not gonna get on the air. 10 seconds. I'm gonna feel you and rub up against your butt and hot and...
I can't tell you how much that would annoy the fuck out of me during this. Oh my gosh.
Go! Norm Macdonald. Hey, imagine, if you will, another place and time, and that's the same thing. And I went, I can't believe this is where you want to try to knock it out. And he just let it go like that. Now, when the show's over, you walk into Lorne Michaels' room. And when you go in there, there's a billboard. And it shows you what sketches...
Wait, but didn't Norm say at the very beginning when he sat them all down, if you put me in a sketch, it's going to get on the air? Like, that he had earned that position with I'll say the company, with the organization. Like, so I could see why he wouldn't be stressing it. He's like, I can fuck around this whole time. It's not going to matter because when this goes live, this is going to go on. Like, at least that's how I'm seeing it. Unless I misunderstood what Jim... I don't know why Jim's confused too.
All right. And when we walk in... Go ahead, I'll wait for you. When we walk in... Take your time, it's over there. And, when we first walk in, it says the Twilight Zone sketch. I'm like, wow, how did that make it? So here we are, live show, monologue. Pamela Anderson comes out, first sketch of the night. 1 minute for kickoff of the show. Jim Breuer, Sherry O'Terry, Chris Kattan, Will Ferrell, not Will Ferrell, Norm Macdonald, all this. So we get there, live show, 1 minute to live on the air. Kattan starts.
God, Norm, you're like terrible. We got 1 minute. You're gonna sound terrible now.
As someone who not only has done stand-up comedy, obviously for over 10 years, but like I've done improv, I've done acting in plays and stuff like that. All live performances, especially if you're not the only one on stage, you're part of an ensemble or a team. If it's improv, whatever you want to call it, you would never start and stir up personal shit a minute before you're gonna go live in front of an audience. Like, that's not in my opinion, that's unprofessional. Is what I was trying to say. Oh man, I can't believe you do that.
National television. Don't you care? My God, you don't even care? Don't you feel gay? God, what's wrong with you?
And I can't believe, I'm getting mad that he's trying to throw Norm off his game. He's live TV. And then,
oh my God, Pamela, you going to the party, you're hot, I'm gonna set you up.
30 seconds.
God, Norm, wait till you hear him. It's terrible. Why don't you stay at the update desk?
20 seconds.
Pamela, you're so hot.
15 seconds. Norm had a cigarette, puts it out. 10 seconds. Hey, Kattan. By the way, if everyone didn't know, Kattan's gay, but he doesn't tell anyone he's gay. And that's why he's this angry little bitch, and he just takes it out on everyone, and he tries to hit on Pamela Anderson, who you know would never be with you. You went timely late. 5 seconds. So why don't you just come out of the closet and admit you're gay and you wouldn't live a lie, you little bitch? We're on! Imagine if you will. Another pacing time.
He goes into it. He nails it.
But, so, if you ever look for that sketch later on YouTube or something, look Pamela Anderson and look for the Twilight Zone sketch. And when you watch it, just watch me, now that you know that story. Because all you're gonna see is the back of me and my shoulders doing this the whole sketch. And then Kattan next to me going,